Scientology's methods of registration and money extraction bear striking similarities to mafia operations in a few key ways, particularly in terms of control, financial manipulation, and coercive practices. Here's a breakdown of how these two structures resemble each other. Centralized control and hierarchical power. Scientology, the church operates under a strict hierarchy, with orders flowing from top executives, particularly David Miscavige. Lower-level members, staff, and Sea Org members carry out directives without questioning the true nature of their activities, similar to a mafia structure where lower-ranked members follow the boss's orders. Mafia, in organized crime families, the boss wields absolute control, with orders cascading down the hierarchy to soldiers and associates. Loyalty is demanded, and members rarely question authority for fear of punishment. 2. Protection rackets, disguised as spiritual progress. Scientology, the church uses the bridge to total freedom to extract increasing sums of money from members under the guise of spiritual enlightenment. Each step on the bridge requires expensive auditing sessions and courses. If someone wants to advance spiritually or avoid punishment, like in the Rehabilitation Project Force or RPF, they must pay. Mafia. The mafia engages in protection rackets, demanding money from businesses in exchange for protection from harm, often the harm being caused by the mafia itself. The system thrives on fear, where payment is required to avoid threats or violence. 3. Coercion and intimidation. Scientology, through techniques like ethics handling, security checks, interrogations using the e-meter, and the threat of being declared a suppressive person, SP, members are coerced into compliance. Fear of being disconnected from family and friends, enforced disconnection policy, keeps members from leaving or speaking out. Financial ruin often follows members who defect, as they are forced to repay large sums or have their personal lives exposed. Mafia. Similarly, the mafia uses intimidation, threats, and violence to maintain control over its members and the communities it extorts. Defection or betrayal often leads to brutal retaliation, including death, mirroring Scientology's fair game policy, which justifies attacking, suing, or ruining enemies. 4. Debt traps. Scientology, members are often pressured to take on significant debt to pay for courses, auditing sessions, and donations. The church frequently pushes its members to max out credit cards, take loans, or liquidate assets to stay in good standing and continue progressing spiritually. Mafia. The mafia similarly engages in loan sharking, offering high-interest loans that become impossible to pay back, trapping individuals in a cycle of debt. Defaulting on these loans can lead to violence or worse. 5. Enforced loyalty through secrecy. Scientology, confidential auditing sessions, particularly those at higher OT levels, gather sensitive personal information that can later be used to control or blackmail members. Those who leave risk having their secrets exposed, akin to mafia informants who risk retaliation if they cooperate with law enforcement. Mafia. Mafia families enforce loyalty through a code of silence, omerta, and those who break this code by informing are targeted for retribution, often resulting in violence or death. Extensive use of legal and financial manipulation. Scientology. The church uses an extensive network of legal threats, lawsuits, and tax-exempt status to insulate itself from scrutiny and to extract money from its followers. Its tax-exempt status in the U.S. gives it immense financial leverage while it sues critics into silence, much like a mafia family would bribe or intimidate officials to avoid prosecution. Mafia. Organized crime groups have been known to use money laundering, bribery, and legal loopholes to evade law enforcement and maintain power, often involving layers of financial transactions and front businesses to conceal their activities. 7. Cult-like loyalty demands. Scientology. Scientology demands total loyalty from its members, often requiring them to cut off relationships with family and friends who oppose the church, the disconnection policy. Members are indoctrinated to believe that leaving Scientology would result in spiritual ruin or physical harm. This creates a closed system where outside influences are shut off and the leadership exerts total control. Mafia. Mafia families also demand extreme loyalty, with betrayal seen as one of the worst offenses. Those who attempt to leave the Mafia or cooperate with authorities face severe consequences, including death, further reinforcing the closed, insular nature of the organization. Conclusion. While Scientology operates under the guise of a religious institution, many of its financial and control mechanisms mirror the Mafia's extortion and intimidation tactics. Both systems rely on coercion, fear, and manipulation to extract money and maintain power over their members, who are often trapped by debt, secrecy, and the threat of retaliation if they try to leave or speak out.
Audiences know what to expect, and that is all they are prepared to believe in.
Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.